Okay, so day 5 na po tayo na impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte today, July 14, 2026. At ang nangyari lang naman po is the continuation sa pag-present kay Attorney Lotoc as a prosecution witness. So si Attorney Lotoc po is part of the NBI. He was the head nung nag-investigate dun sa alleged grave threats and inciting to sedition case na nirecommend po nilang i-file against VP Sara sa DOJ Prosecutorial Service. So ang isa lang po na gusto kong i-take note ninyo dito ay umabot na ng 2 days si Attorney Lotoc, pero yung sinusunod po kasi ng impeachment ng Senate Impeachment Trial Court is the 1-day examination rule. Pero dito po kay Attorney Lotoc, the second witness pa lang ng prosecution na extend na into 2 days. At yung point ko lang po talaga dito ay kung ganyan po yung mangyayari palagi na ma-extend in more than 2 days ay posible pong mas mapahaba pa from the 92 trial dates na sinet ng Senate Impeachment Trial Court for this impeachment trial. And yung pinaka-point ko lang po talaga, hindi kasi maka-function yung Senate as the Senate of the Philippines kung naka-convene sila sa impeachment trial court. So sana naman itong ginagawa talaga na impeachment trial ay may mangyaring for the benefit po talaga ng taong bayan once na mag-conclude na po fully to at hindi masayang lang yung resources natin. That's my main point po talaga. Okay, so for today's discussion po, I will be mainly explaining po yung tungkol sa personal knowledge na issue na inulit-ulit po ng cross-examination ni Attorney Vinluan. Kasi kung ako po ang tatanungin lang ninyo, and again, this is with all due respect po to the prosecution, ay tingin ko mas pabor yun sa defense, yung line of questioning kasi doon ni Attorney Vinluan kung saan napapasagot niya to si Attorney Lotoc nang wala daw siyang personal knowledge regarding certain factual circumstances involved in this impeachment trial. Okay, so good day po to all of you my fellow taong bayan, mga kasimor, at yan po ang video natin for today. Okay, so as to that issue po na no personal knowledge, ang una po kasing magandang maintindihan nyo po talaga dyan ay pag wala po kasing personal knowledge, ang general rule po dyan ay hearsay po yung ganyang klaseng statement. So pag hearsay po kasi ang isang statement ay inadmissible po yan or hindi po yan tatanggapin ng korte as a general rule. Okay? At ang isa pong exception dyan sa hearsay na yan ay pag yung witness is an expert witness. So in other words po, pag expert ang isang witness, pwede po siya magbigay ng conclusions, findings niya based on mga statements ng ibang tao. So dito po kasi si Attorney Lotoc, I am assuming na they are trying to present or the prosecution is trying to present him as an expert witness kasi siya po yung nag-lead ng investigation, di ba? Tapos yung findings nga po ng investigation nila ay meron daw real and active threat against the life of PBBM, First Lady Lisa, and former Speaker Martin because of the questionable statements or utterances ni VP Sara that amounted to grave threats daw and inciting to sedition. Okay, so anyway po, ang main point ko talaga dito, unang-una, yung defense po kasi pinapasagot talaga kay Attorney Lotoc kung saan sinagot din naman po niya na wala siyang personal knowledge talaga as to dun sa alleged na hinire daw ni VP Sara na tagapapaya dun sa 3 individuals. Pero based daw sa findings nila, sa investigation nila, sa mga evidence gathered nila, ay meron daw alleged na hinire na tagapapaya. Pero yun nga po, wala siyang actual and direct personal knowledge as to the hiring and identity of that person. So, ang next naman na inattack dito nila Attorney Vinluan is the credibility of ni Attorney Lotoc as an expert witness. Kaya nga kung makita po ninyo yung sa hearing kahapon, inulit-ulit talaga nila yung mga discrepancies sa dates. Tapos in-insist din nila na hindi yon mere typographical error, kundi substantial error daw po yun. And then kine-question din nila yung personal credentials ni Attorney Lotoc as an investigator. So lahat po kasi na yun, tinetest yung accuracy ng mga investigative findings, yung credentials, that is all testing or questioning po the credibility of that expert witness. So kung tanggapin nyo ng korte as nasira nila yung credibility ng expert witness na yon, ang magiging conclusion po niyan ay findings po niya sa investigation niya ay matitreat po yun siya as hearsay kasi hindi na siya nag-qualify as an expert witness. And then yung isa pa po, yung sa pag-test din dito ng credibility ni Attorney Lotoc, kung napansin po nyo yung tinatanong ni Attorney Vinluan yung iba't ibang factual circumstances, tas tinatanong niya si Attorney Lotoc kung meron ba siyang personal knowledge. Tapos sa certain actions, ang sagot ni Attorney Lotoc, wala siyang personal knowledge as to the truthfulness of the statement ni VP Sara. Yung isa po dun is yung tungkol sa may mga corruption allegations si VP Sara. So ang sinabi po ni Attorney Lotoc doon, wala siyang personal knowledge as to the truthfulness of those corruption allegations, pero he is aware na may ganung ginawang statement si VP Sara based dun sa transcript at sa investigation nila. Pero nung pumunta na po si Attorney Vinluan dun sa alleged tagapapaya, hinire na tagapapaya na questioning, kung ako po ang tatanungin, yung observation ko dun ay medyo evasive na po si Attorney Lotoc. And ang nangyari nga po dun actually ay si Presiding Officer Escudero na yung nag-clarify ng question para mas makakuha ng direct answer dito si Attorney Vinluan. So as to that po kasi ang nangyayari pag tinatanong na ni Attorney Vinluan, hindi na po sinasagot ni Attorney Lotoc directly na wala siyang personal knowledge as to the truthfulness of that statement ni VP Sara na may kinausap na daw siya na yun nga po yung alleged na hinire na tagapapaya. Pero in all other statements, sinasabi ni Attorney Lotoc palagi na wala siyang personal knowledge as to the truthfulness of those allegations ni VP Sara. So dun po makita natin na pwede po talaga argue ng defense na merong inconsistencies si Attorney Lotoc, and then kinlarify nga doon ni Senator Escudero na pwede naman niya sagutin directly yun kung whether or not may personal knowledge ba talaga siya as to the truthfulness, kasi at the end of the day pwede naman daw po ipaklarify yun sa kanya ng prosecutor sa redirect examination. So yun po kaya ako nasabing may plus points kasi meron pong ibang treatment yung ito si Attorney Lotoc sa ibang statements si VP from other statements that all happened in this press con nung gabi na to. Yung iba sinasabi niya wala siyang personal knowledge sa truthfulness, pero dun sa iba ayaw niya sabihin directly initially na wala siyang personal knowledge. Okay, at ang reason po kaya ako nasabing plus points po yan for the defense kasi binabasag nga po nila yung credibility na Attorney Lotoc as an expert witness. So pag ganun po kasi yung argument nga or yung legal theory ng prosecution based on all I have heard and seen dito sa impeachment proceedings so far is that may real and active threat that amounted to the hiring of that alleged tagapapaya, which amounts to an impeachable officer. So kung mabasag nga nila yung isang witness dito ng prosecution na nagsabing may real at active threat, ay posibleng mabasag na nila yung entire legal theory ng prosecution as to that impeachable offense. Okay, so yan po ang masasabi ko, pero please take note po, this is just my own personal point of view of the case so far. Posible pa rin naman po na iba yung appreciation ng judges, senator judges, sa mga nangyari dito sa examination and presentation of witness. Okay, so ngayon po ang next question naman natin is whether or not yung grave threats ba talaga can amount to an impeachable offense. So I will be basing this discussion po sa cross-examination ng defense dito. So quick break lang mga ka-Seymour, gusto ko lang po kayo i-remind na hopefully po you can like this video and mag-subscribe din sa YouTube channel ko kasi 100% free po yung YouTube subscription. Tapos kung gusto naman po ng behind the scenes /Maritesan sa Facebook naman po kayo mag-follow. And of course, salamat din po sa lahat na nakasubscribe na. We have recently crossed po 464,000 subscribers sa YouTube. Konting-konti na lang po, mag 500,000 na tayo kaya hopefully po makonsider ninyo mag-subscribe. Okay, ngayon po tuloy tayo sa discussion. Okay, so for that question po, mapapanood nyo yung part na yun sa question and answer na tinatanong po dito ni Attorney Vinluan si Attorney Lotoc kung anong court yung may jurisdiction over the crime of grave threats at kung whether or not bailable ba yung crime of grave threats. So, ang una po kasing magandang matandaan talaga natin dyan is that for the impeachable ground of betrayal of public trust, ang jurisprudence po kasi defines that as something that is so severe, or yung isang definition po ng Supreme Court dun is tyrannical abuse of power attended with bad faith. Tapos, it is in the same level of seriousness as the other impeachable offenses. Pero, it does not have to amount to a crime. Meaning, hindi po kailangan maging krimen para maging betrayal of public trust, pero dapat same level of seriousness po siya as the other impeachable offenses. So kung titingnan po natin, di ba yung ibang grounds for impeachment dyan is treason, graft and corruption, culpable violation of the Constitution. So yan po ang magiging basis of comparison kung whether or not yung grave threats ba ay equal na ganun din ka-serious sa mga impeachable offenses na yon. So dito po tinanong ni Attorney Vinluan mismo si Attorney Lotoc kung anong court ba yung may jurisdiction over the crime of grave threats and kung whether or not bailable ba yung crime of grave threats. So yung pinaka-point nga lang ng line of questioning na yon, from my understanding, ay pinapakita po ni Attorney Vinluan na hindi ganun ka-serious or ka-severe of a crime if assuming po meron talagang ginawa si VP Sara na crime of grave threat na same level po siya of seriousness as yung other impeachable grounds. Okay, so yan lang naman po. And para po sa akin, maganda kasi yung legal theory na yon dito na in-explain po ni Attorney Vinluan as the part of the defense kasi the mere fact na yung grave threats is bailable as a matter of right and then yung lowest penalty po niyan for that crime is under the MTC lang po, yung lowest level na trial court, dun pa lang po pwede talaga i-argue ng defense na hindi siya in the same level of seriousness as other impeachable offenses. Kasi yung treason, graft and corruption, yung mga cases po na yun ay mataas po yung penalty talaga niyan. So yung isa niyan, 'di ba, like yung final po kay Senator Marcoleta na plunder. So plunder is a form of a graft and corruption case at yun po ay discretionary yung bail, or in simple terms or more commonly known as a non-bailable crime. So again, dun pa nga lang po pwede talaga i-argue yan in defense na yung grave threats is not in the same level as the other impeachable offenses. So yan lang po yung pinaka-point talaga niyan. And then lastly po, magbibigay na lang din ako ng comments sa mga na-observe ko pong mga line of questioning ng mga senator judges natin. Okay, so una po, sabihin ko na lang to diretsahan para klaro po talaga tayo. Sa tingin ko naman po, yung general public na nanonood ng impeachment proceeding nito ay merong perception or may pananaw na yung certain senator judges natin ay may biases. Diba? May it be for or against the impeachment trial. Sa tingin ko, that is a safe assumption on my end. Kasi alam naman natin yung mga political affiliations sa mga senator judges. And at the end of the day, the senator judges are all human beings who are not perfect. So yung point ko lang po, mahirapan din talaga sila to separate their senator identity, yung political identity nila, from being a senator judge. So again, I think it is safe to assume na the general public views na may biases po yung senator judges natin. Okay, so yan po ang unang gusto ko lang din i-point out talaga. And kaya ko lang po gusto to i-discuss kasi may iba pong senator judges na nag-i-inject po ng facts para, kung ako po ang tatanungin ninyo, my own personal opinion and point of view ay para pumasok sa legal theory nung prosecution. Like yung example po yung tungkol sa Operation Romanov. So, ang una po kasing magandang tandaan natin, yung Operation Romanov na dinidiscuss dito should be taken in the context of yung sinabi ng isang certain Princess Maui na nandun sa press conference, dun sa Zoom press conference si VP Sara. Kasi yun naman po, dun nagsimula yung Operation Romanov na yun. Pero nagulat na lang ako eventually, nanganak na umabot, na balik pa na yung Romanov issue pala daw ay directed sa first family na si Mayor Baste daw yung nagpasimula. So yan lang po, kung ako lang tatanungin, hindi siya maganda tingnan kung yung senator judge yung magtatanong ng ganung klaseng line of questioning na hindi siya galing dun sa actual facts nung discussion or statement or documents ng prosecution. Kasi yun nga po, yung pinaka main issue naman talaga is the Operation Romanov based on the statements nung Princess Maui, 'di ba? And that was actually clarified po ni Attorney Vinluan na yun yung Operation Romanov na dinidiscuss nila at hindi yung Romanov na sinabi daw po ni Mayor Baste sa isang rally. And the reason why I'm emphasizing this kasi yun nga po, ang dating lang sa akin, parang mas pumapasok yun sa legal theory ng prosecution. So, pag senator judges po kasi magtanong, 'di ba, dapat they should be impartial talaga. So, ang tanungin lang dapat nila kung ano yung mga sinabi na or diniscuss ng parties, i-test po nila yung logic, yung reasonableness ng mga explanation nitong witness. Dapat ganun lang. And from there, dun nila i-follow up yung questions. Hindi yung parang papangunahan mo, tapos biglang pupunta kayo towards a certain direction ngayon na legal theory. Okay, so yan lang po ang side discussion na gusto ko lang din ma-point out there kasi ako personally napansin ko po yun kanina when I was observing these proceedings. Okay, so overall po, tingin ko naman same pa rin yung status ng case. Even some senator judges who are perceived to have a bias towards more sa prosecution ay mukhang kahit kanina po sa line of questioning ay parang naiinis na rin nung kinlarify nila yung mga certain matters in relation dun sa alleged crime of grave threats and alleged crimes of inciting to sedition. So, although hindi pa naman po yun magiging actual basis as to the eventual decision or vote ng judges na yung senator judges, pero at least nakikita natin sa based on their line of questioning kung whether or not mukhang pinapaniwalaan ba nila itong witness na to or hindi, which will most likely be the basis of their eventual vote as to this ground for impeachment, itong Article 4 po. Okay, so yan lang po ang masasabi ko as to this issue. Kung gusto naman po panoorin yung Day 4 ng impeachment trial ni VP Sara Duterte, dito nyo po yan mapapanood sa video na to. And huwag nyo po kalimutan mag-like and subscribe. And until next time, see you all po. Bye-bye!